guys, if you want to hear about my iPhone case collection, stay tuned. Hi, this is Brittany and you're watching Locked Queen Bee. Hi guys, Locked Queen Bee here and welcome back to my channel. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. If you are a new subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and also click on the bell so that you'll get notifications whenever I upload a new video. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this video. So I am a big iPhone person. I've never had an Android phone. I probably tried one for like a few weeks. It wasn't a Samsung Galaxy. I'm not sure what phone it was, but I ended up not keeping it because it made my bill really expensive in terms of data, which is not something that I had an issue with iPhone. So I knew that that was not something that I really even wanted to get into. So I switched back to an iPhone. With iPhones, you know that those are really expensive phones. You need to protect them. If you're someone who goes caseless, more power to you. I have never been able to do that because I'm just so worried about damaging my phone. So let's talk about a few of the things that I take into consideration when I am buying a phone case. So I have the iPhone 11 Pro Max. I've had it since launch day and I woke up really early to pre-order it, and I really wanted to make sure that I had it as soon as it came out and was available. The reason why I upgraded to the 11 Pro Max over the 10X Max was because I have Verizon, and for some reason my phone, whenever I would go underground, since I live in New York on the trains, I would go underground and like my connection would be completely messed up. Like I would have to turn off my phone and turn it back on in order to have cellular service, and I've never had that happen with the iPhone before. So I think it was that particular phone. So I knew that I needed to get the next model. So with the new phone, I definitely needed to get a new case. So with my 10X Max, this was the case that I was using with the gold 10S Max, and I really loved it. So this is kind of like a rubber case. I don't think it's silicone material because there's literally like no lint on the case at all whatsoever, even though, you know, my hair is all over the place and all of that. And so this was actually one of my favorite cases, and I wanted this exact case for the 11 Pro Max. I was able to get it for the 10X Max, and then this is for the 10R. So they, for whatever reason, they didn't have it in the 11 Pro Max, and I'm super bummed. They did have a similar case that didn't have this cutout on the back, but it was the same color and it was a silicone material, and that actually kept ripping at the seams. And so I basically bought maybe 3 of those cases for $10 each, and then I decided, okay, I need to upgrade to a different case. I can't be spending $10 every 2 weeks if the case rips. Don't have that case with me because once my case is useless, I just tossed it out. And so what I decided to get was this case here. This is a PC case, so it's hard. You can hear me knock on it, and it has this little design on the back. I don't know if you can see it very clearly, but I wasn't a fan of the design, but I liked the color, and I also liked the material. Like, this was not going to rip, this was going to hold up very well. And it's very similar in design to the Otterbox Vue case, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And this is obviously a knockoff case, so this cost me $8, which I was very happy about. I had this case for about 6 months before I decided to get something else that had a little bit more color and a little more pop to it. But this was one of my favorite cases. So these 2 cases I got from the same place. I got this from a store on 26th Street and maybe 5th Avenue in New York City. I don't think that they have a website or anything, so you just have to physically go to the store to check out their collection. So I got these 3 cases for them. I would obviously keep going back for more cases, but I'm also very picky now on what I want in a case. So I mentioned that I wanted something with a little more pop. I really wanted a lavender case since this case was my favorite color. I haven't found anything that is this exact shade. The lavenders that I've found have either been too light or they were just too gray looking and it wasn't what I wanted. So I got this case from Amazon. This is a lavender gray case. It's TPU material. It doesn't attract too many fingerprints and you don't have to worry about lint too much with this case. The only reason why I didn't like it was the color. So the color isn't purple enough to me, so it doesn't really stand out. However, when you get outside, the color is definitely much better than how it looks now. The only thing that I didn't like about this case was that it's very slippery, so it would fall out of my hand. I did experiment with the pop socket, and I like pop sockets, but I don't like them because I feel like every time I want to use my phone, I need to pop the socket out to use my phone, and I didn't want to develop that habit of doing that. After playing around with a bunch of different lavender colored cases and not finding the perfect one, I did look into this case by Smartish. This is the Kung Fu Grip, and this is the Purple Rain color. I wasn't a huge fan of this color just because it's more of like a red than the purple that I was looking for, but this color definitely pops. I couldn't find anything else that had a color that was this bright and popped this much. So I actually ordered about 4 or 5 of these, and what I did not like about this case was that the buttons were kind of not very clicky. Some people say that they're tactile, but I actually don't like the buttons. I really like mushy buttons that just like smush when you click on it, and it really makes it easier when you need to take like a screenshot in like a quick second, or when you need to do something else with those buttons and you don't have to like fumble to click what you're trying to click. So that was one issue with this case. Also, the sides are very gritty, and for the first 2 or 3 cases, this really annoyed me and I didn't like the way that it fit. I did see that a reviewer commented that after a while, like holding this case in your hand with your phone in it, holding this case would like irritate your fingers, and that is exactly what I felt. But for some reason, with this fourth or fifth case that I ordered, this gritty side wasn't as pronounced, and so I didn't really have issues with it, and it is now my favorite case. So I'm going to pop this back on my iPhone so that we don't drop it. And yeah, so this is the case that I am using currently. So I want to talk about my phone case journey just because in the past I've always had at least 5 to 15 cases per iPhone that I've had. This year I would like to think that I kind of didn't go that route. I ordered replacements for cases that broke, or I didn't really experiment with cases too much. The 11 Pro Max is actually the first iPhone that I don't have multiple cases for. Right now I really only have 2 cases. So I have these 2 cases for the 11 Pro Max plus the one that is currently on my phone here, and then everything else is for my previous iPhones that I've had. This is a case from Caudabe. I really like having minimal phone cases. I don't want anything that's super bulky or it's just gonna make my phone feel really heavy in my hand, especially since I have a larger phone. So this case was okay. I was not a fan of the color. They don't have many color options, so that's something to keep in mind if you check out the cases. In terms of grip and grittiness, this is actually less gritty than the Smartish case, but for some reason it just still irritated my fingers and I didn't actually like holding it. So I did try really hard to make this case work, but then I just went back to whatever case I was using at the time. Then I was also on a Spigen kick because I had phone cases that were either white or they were gold, and I wanted to show off the color. The issue with clear cases is that they yellow after a while. So this is I think the liquid. This is the liquid crystal, and then this is the ultra hybrid case. And this is the first case that I got for my 10s Max, and I wanted to show off the gold color, but the case yellowed after a while and it left a little bit of fingerprint, and so I wanted to switch to something else, and that was when I switched to using lavender purple cases. And then this one didn't hold up for a while. I think this is probably a replacement, so I may have had another one before this that I was using, but it yellowed, and so I got a replacement that I never ended up using. And then I have this case for the iPhone 10 that I had. The only reason why I want to showcase this case is because this is very similar to, and this is a knockoff case, so it's very similar to the Case-Free or Casetify cases. And so it has this little crystallized back, and then it has these pink trimmings on the side. I actually hate cases like this. Like, I would never want to use a case like this on my phone, but I got it because I wanted something different that wasn't just a plain clear case. And so this one I actually probably got for like $10 from a store also on 26th and 5th Avenue. And so if you are someone who likes to have different cases, but you don't want to spend a whole lot of money per case, you should definitely check out these stores, or if you have stores similar to these ones, wherever you are located. So what are my must-haves for iPhone cases? 1. I want the case to be a minimalist case or thin. 2. I want a case that has minimal branding, so I don't like it when I see logos all over the back, all over the side, and all of that. So the brand logo needs to be in a place that is not very noticeable, but you know, if you know where to look, you'll see the brand. 3. What is important to me is making sure that whatever case I'm using, the buttons are very smushy or tactile. So when people say tactile, that can be different for different people. I like smushy buttons and buttons that just kind of like melt into the button that you're trying to press, and it takes zero effort. 4. The other thing that is important to me in my case is I would prefer now not to have a clear case. So I want a case that is made of good material. So I would probably stay away from clear TPU. And I also want a case that is somewhat protective. 5. The other thing that is important to me is that I want the lip around the screen to be enough lip that it's protective, but I don't want it to be too much lips to where it interferes with the swiping gestures on the touchscreen phone. So I hope this video was helpful. I just wanted to give you guys a quick walkthrough of the case that I'm currently using and some other cases that I have experimented with or used in the past. And so yeah, if you have any questions or comments for me, definitely leave them in the comment section below. And if you have any cases that you would like me to check out or review for you, definitely let me know. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. Thank you.